Hello and welcome to our channel Enjoy English Stories. In this lesson, you will practice English speaking in a calm and natural way. We will use a simple but powerful method that helps you speak more clearly and with more confidence. While listening, relax your mind and focus on the sound of the words. This story will help you improve your English and enjoy the learning process at the same time. Listen carefully to each sentence. After you hear it, repeat the sentence out loud like a shadow. Copy the voice, rhythm, and emotion. Now, let me tell you a story about a woman whose quiet evening turns into something unforgettable. My name is Laura Bennett. I am 27 years old, and I live alone in a quiet coastal town. I work as a graphic designer from home, so most days are calm and predictable. I wake up early, make coffee, and sit by the window while the sea breeze comes inside. I like my life this way. I do not enjoy surprises. After work, I usually take a walk along the beach and watch the sunset. That evening feels no different. The sky is clear, the air is warm, and the town is peaceful. I put on my jacket, take my headphones, and leave my apartment without any idea that this walk will change everything. As I walk farther from the town center, my phone suddenly stops playing music. The screen goes black. I try to turn it on, but nothing happens. At the same moment, I notice how quiet it is. The beach is empty, and the streetlights behind me feel very far away. Then I hear a sound. It is soft at first, like footsteps on sand. I stop walking. The sound stops too. My heart beats faster. I tell myself it is nothing, maybe just the wind. I continue walking, but the sound comes back. This time it is closer. I turn around, but I see no one. The sea looks dark now, and the path ahead feels unfamiliar. I start to feel nervous. I do not know how long I had been walking, and without my phone, I cannot check the time. For the first time, I wish I were not alone. Just as I begin to panic, I see a small light in the distance. It is warm and yellow, not like a streetlight. I walk toward it slowly. As I get closer, I realize it is coming from a small wooden cove near the shore. I am surprised. I have lived here for years, but I have never seen this place before. The door is open, and soft music plays inside. I step in carefully. The cove is cozy and quiet. There are only 2 tables and a counter. A woman stands behind it. She has gray hair and kind eyes. She smiles and says, "You look cold. Please sit down." I sit at a table near the window. My hands are shaking. The woman brings me a cup of hot tea without asking. "You walk too far," she says gently. "This path can confuse people when they are tired." I ask her how she knows. She smiles again, but does not answer. As I drink the tea, my body slowly relaxes. The warmth spreads through me, and my breathing becomes calm. After a few minutes, another woman enters the cove. She's about my age and looks just as surprised as I feel. She says, "I thought I was lost." We look at each other and laugh quietly. The woman behind the counter says, "You both came at the right time." She tells us that many people walk alone when they are thinking too much. Sometimes they forget where they are going. The cove, she explains, appears only when someone truly needs to stop. We talk for a while. The other woman's name is Claire. She moved to the town recently and feels lonely. I tell her about my work and how I avoid surprises. The woman behind the counter listens carefully. Then she says, "Maybe what you avoid is what you need." Her words stay in my mind. When I finish my tea, I stand up and thank her. The woman opens the door for us. Outside, the streetlights are bright again, and the path looks familiar. I turn around to say goodbye, but the cove is gone. There is only an empty space and the sound of the sea. Claire looks at me with wide eyes. "Did that really happen?" she asks. I nod slowly. I am not sure, but I feel different. Calmer, stronger, and not so afraid of the unknown anymore. Claire and I walked together for a short while before we reached the place where our paths separate. We exchanged numbers and promised to meet again. When I finally return home, I sit by the window and listen to the waves outside. I think about the calf, the woman with kind eyes, and the moment I felt lost on the beach. I realize something important. I have been living safely, carefully, always choosing what feels familiar. But that night shows me that getting lost does not always mean danger. Sometimes it means discovery. Over the next few days, small things begin to change. I accept a new project that scares me a little. I say yes when Claire invites me for coffee. I walk different streets and notice new places. I still enjoy calm and quiet, but I no longer hide from the unknown. I understand now that confidence does not come from control. It comes from trust. Trust in myself, and trust that I can handle what comes next, even if I do not see the whole path. Now it is your turn to practice. Listen to this story again and pause after each sentence. Repeat the words out loud using the shadowing technique. Copy the sound, rhythm, and feeling of the voice. Practice every day, even for a few minutes. Little steps bring real progress. Thank you for learning with me, and I will see you in the next lesson. Hello and welcome to our channel Enjoy English Stories. In this lesson, you will practice English speaking in a clear and relaxed way. We will use a simple method that helps you speak more naturally and with more confidence. While listening, try to stay focused and calm. This story is not only for listening, but also for speaking and feeling the language. Let the words flow and enjoy the learning process. Listen to each sentence carefully. After you hear it, repeat the sentence out loud like a shadow. Copy the sound, speed, and emotion. Now, let me tell you a story about a woman whose normal day takes an unexpected turn. My name is Natalie Brooks. I am 31 years old, and I live in a busy city near the river. I work as an event planner, so my days are usually full of noise, people, and schedules. I like to be organized and on time. Every morning, I drink coffee on my balcony and plan my day carefully. That Tuesday starts like any other. I have meetings, phone calls, and emails. In the evening, I decide to take a different route home to clear my mind. I walk slowly, listening to the sounds of the city, not knowing that this small decision will change my night completely. As I walk along the river, the sky suddenly becomes dark. Strong wind moves through the trees, and the air feels heavy. I check my phone, but there is no signal. A few minutes later, my phone battery dies. I stop near the water and look around. The street is almost empty. I feel uneasy. Then I hear a loud splash behind me. I turn quickly, but I see nothing. My heart starts to beat faster. I try to remember the way back, but everything looks unfamiliar in the dark. I feel trapped between the river and the long road ahead. I tell myself to stay calm, but fear slowly grows. I am alone, without a phone, and far from home. Just when I consider calling for help, I see a small boat tied near the riverbank. A man stands next to it, fixing a rope. He looks up and asks, "Are you okay?" His voice is calm. I hesitate, then nod and explain that my phone is dead and I feel lost. He listens carefully and says his name is Daniel. He lives on a houseboat nearby. He offers to walk with me to the nearest bridge where the lights are brighter. As we walk, the wind becomes stronger and rain begins to fall. We take shelter under an old wooden dock. Daniel tells me he used to work in an office but left his job to live a simpler life near the water. I am surprised by his choice. He seems peaceful and confident. He asks me why I always look at my watch. I laugh nervously and say I am afraid of wasting time. He says, sometimes time is not wasted. It is spent. The rain slows down. We continue walking and finally reach the bridge. The lights reflect on the river, and the city feels alive again. I feel safe. Daniel points toward the main street and says, I can find my way from there. Before leaving, he gives me a small notebook. Write things you notice, he says. Not plans, just moments. I thank him, feeling strangely grateful. When I turn around, he is already walking back toward the river. When I get home, I sit quietly and open the notebook. The pages are empty. I think about the night, the river, and Daniel's words. I realize how much of my life I spend rushing, planning, and worrying about time. That night teaches me that slowing down does not mean losing control. It means being present. Over the next weeks, I begin to change small habits. I walk more and check my phone less. I write simple notes about sounds, colors, and feelings. I still work hard, but I allow space for quiet moments. One evening, I return to the river and see the lights on the water. I smile, feeling calm and grounded. I am no longer afraid of getting lost because I trust myself to find the way again. Now it is your turn to practice. Listen to this story again and pause after each sentence. Repeat the words using the shadowing technique. Focus on pronunciation, rhythm, and emotion. Practice a little every day, and your English will become clearer and more confident. Thank you for learning with me. See you next time.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to another English learning video. Do you want to understand English words faster? Do you want to train your brain to speak English more easily? Then this video is just for you. Today, we are going to practice English using a special method. It is called the shadowing technique. Here is how it works. I will tell you a beautiful story sentence by sentence. First, listen carefully to each English sentence. Then, repeat the same sentence after me. Just like a shadow following a person, try to copy the sound, rhythm, and emotion of each line. This will train your brain to think in English and speak more naturally. Are you ready to try it? Let's begin our story practice. My name is Emma Watson, and this is the story about a secret that changes my life forever. It is a story about a rainy morning, a mysterious key, and a person who becomes the most important part of my world. I live in London. London is a very big and busy city. I moved here 3 months ago for a new job. I work in a small office near the River Thames. I like my job, but sometimes I feel a little bit lonely. I do not know many people in this big city. I live in a small apartment with my cat, Luna. Every morning, I walk to the train station. On Monday morning, the weather is very typical for London. It is cold and very foggy. Grey clouds are everywhere. I walk down a narrow street. Suddenly, I see something shiny on the wet ground. It is near an old red phone booth. I stop and look down. I see a key. The key is not a modern key. It is an old, heavy key made of silver. It looks very special. It has a small wooden tag attached to it with a piece of blue string. On the wooden tag, there is some writing. It says, "The Green Gate, number 12. I wonder what it means. The Green Gate? I look around the street. I see many buildings and many doors, but I do not see a green gate. I put the silver key in my pocket. I go to work, but all day I think about the key. My mind is full of questions. Who loses this key? What does it open? Where is the green gate? After work, I do not go home immediately. I decide to walk around the neighborhood. I want to find the green gate. I walk for 1 hour. I see brown doors, white doors, and black doors. But I do not see a green gate. Suddenly, it starts to rain. Big, heavy drops of rain fall from the sky. I do not have an umbrella. In seconds, my hair is wet and my coat is wet. I look for shelter. I see a small shop on the corner. It is a flower shop. The shop looks very warm and bright. I run to the shop and push the door open. A small bell rings. The smell of roses and lilies fills my nose. It is a beautiful smell. A young man is standing behind the counter. He is busy with some yellow tulips. He looks up and sees me. He has friendly brown eyes and a very kind smile. The man says, "Oh, you are very wet. Please, come in. You can stay here until the rain stops." I say, "Thank you very much." The rain starts so fast. He gives me a clean towel. He says, "I am Leo. I own this flower shop." I say, "I am Emma. Nice to meet you, Leo." We start to talk. Leo is very easy to talk to. He tells me he loves flowers because they make people happy. I tell him about my life in London and my job. Then, I remember the key. I take the silver key out of my pocket. I ask, "Leo, do you know this key?" "I found it today. It says the green gate." Leo stops smiling. He looks at the key very closely. His eyes go wide. He says, "I cannot believe it. This is the key to the secret garden." I ask, "The secret garden? What is that?" Leo explains, "Many years ago, there was a beautiful garden behind these buildings. It belonged to an old library. But the library closed, and the garden was locked. People forgot about it. My grandfather told me stories about it. He said it was the most peaceful place in London. But the gate is hidden by tall walls and trees. No one has the key anymore. I feel my heart beat fast. Maybe we can find it?" I ask. Leo looks at the rain outside. The rain is stopping now. The sun is coming out behind the clouds. He says, "Yes. Let's go together. I think I know where the hidden wall is." We leave the flower shop. We walk past the train station and turn into a very quiet path. There are high brick walls covered in green ivy. Leo stops at a specific part of the wall. He moves the long green leaves with his hands. Behind the ivy, there is a small door. It is painted a very dark green color. There is a small number 12 on the top. "This is it," Leo whispers. I take the silver key. My hand is shaking a little bit. I put the key into the lock. It fits perfectly. I turn the key. I hear a loud click. The door opens slowly. We step inside, and I gasp. It is like entering a dream. The garden is full of ancient trees and wild, colorful flowers. There is a small stone path and a tiny pond in the middle. The air feels different here. It is fresh and sweet. The noise of the city disappears. It is completely quiet. "It is beautiful," I say quietly. Leo looks at me and smiles. "It is more beautiful than the stories," he says. We sit on an old wooden bench near the pond. We talk for hours. We talk about our families, our favorite books, and our dreams for the future. I feel like I know Leo for a long time. I do not feel lonely anymore. I feel very happy and safe. The sun begins to set. The sky turns a soft purple and orange. Leo says, "Emma, I am so glad you found that key today." I look at him and say, "I'm glad too. I think the key wanted to be found." Leo takes my hand. His hand is warm and strong. He says, "I think the key brought us together." That was the beginning of our story. That was 3 months ago. Now, Leo and I are together. We are very much in love. We go to the secret garden every weekend. We bring coffee and books, and sometimes we plant new flowers. We take care of the garden together. Leo says the garden is a miracle. But I know the truth. The real miracle is not the garden. The real miracle is that I found the key on a foggy morning in a big city. Sometimes, the smallest things can lead to the biggest adventures. Sometimes, a simple silver key can open the door to a whole new life. I am Emma Watson, and I am no longer lonely. Because in the heart of London, I found a secret garden, and I found the love of my life. Now it's your turn to practice. Go back to the start of the story and pause the video after each sentence. Then, repeat after me. This is the shadowing technique. Keep practicing like this every day. Your English will become clear, natural, and confident. Remember, even a little practice every day makes a huge difference. You will see amazing progress very soon. Thank you for watching this lesson. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more stories. See you next time in another English learning lesson. Good luck with your practice. Hello, my dear English learners. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have a very special lesson for you. We are going to practice English together using the shadowing technique. Shadowing is a very simple but powerful method. I will read a story to you, and your job is to repeat every single word after me. Don't wait for me to finish the sentence. Try to speak at the same time or just a second after me. Focus on my pronunciation, the way I pause, and the emotion in my voice. This will help you stop translating in your head and start speaking English like a native. Today's story is titled The Tuscan Sketchbook. It is a beautiful story about a girl named Clara who finds her true self in the heart of Italy. Are you ready to start? Take a deep breath, listen carefully, and let's begin. My name is Clara. I am 24 years old, and for a long time, I lived my life like a robot. I live in London. I love London, but it is a very fast and very grey city. Every morning, I wake up at 6 o'clock to the sound of a loud alarm. I drink a quick coffee, I put on my grey suit, and I run to the underground station. I work as an office assistant for a very large company. My desk is covered in papers, folders, and coffee cups. My phone rings 100 times a day. Yes, sir, no, I will send that email immediately. This is my life. By the time I go home at 7 o'clock in the evening, I am exhausted. I look in the mirror and I see a girl who has forgotten how to smile. I feel like a bird in a cage. I need to fly. I need to breathe. One rainy Tuesday in November, I make a big decision. I go to my boss and I say, I'm taking a vacation. 2 weeks later, I am on a plane. I am flying away from the clouds of London. I am flying toward the sun of Italy. I'm going to Tuscany. I arrive at the airport in Florence. The air is different here. It is warm, and it smells like blooming flowers and ancient stone. I rent a small, vintage car and I drive into the countryside. The roads in Tuscany are narrow and they twist and turn like snakes. On both sides of the road, there are tall cypress trees and endless vineyards. The hills are a beautiful shade of golden green. I arrive at my destination. Villa Miramonti. It is an old house made of warm, yellow stone. It has bright green shutters and a large wooden door. The owner of the villa is a woman named Isabella. She is 70 years old, and she has the loudest laugh I have ever heard. "Welcome, Clara," she shouts, and she hugs me like I am her own daughter. "You look too thin. You need pasta. You need wine. You need the sun." My room is at the top of the villa. It is simple but perfect. The bed is covered in white linen, and there is a small wooden desk by the window. When I open the window, I can hear the sound of cicadas and the distant chime of a church bell. That night, I sleep for 10 hours. For the first time in years, I do not dream about emails. The next morning, the sun is shining brightly. I have breakfast on the terrace. Isabella brings me fresh bread, local honey, and a bowl of the reddest strawberries I have ever seen. The coffee is strong and delicious. After breakfast, I decide to explore the villa. Isabella tells me that the house is very old. It belonged to her family for 300 years. "There are many secrets in this house, Clara," she says with a wink. I walk down a long hallway with dark wooden floors. At the end of the hallway, I find a heavy door. I push it open, and I find a library. The room is magnificent. The walls are covered from floor to ceiling with books. There are books in Italian, Latin, French, and English. The air is thick with the smell of old paper and dust. Sunlight falls through the tall windows, showing millions of tiny dust motes dancing in the air. I spend hours looking at the books. In a dark corner, on a very low shelf, I see something strange. It is a small book with a blue leather cover. It is hidden behind a large encyclopedia. I pull it out. It is not a printed book. It is a handwritten sketchbook. I sit on the floor and open it. My heart starts to beat faster. The sketchbook is full of drawings. There are drawings of the hills, drawings of the villa, and drawings of the people in the village. But it is more than just a sketchbook. It is a diary. The writing is in English. The first page says, "Property of Sophia, Tuscany, 1982. I read the entries. Sophia was a young woman from England, just like me. She came to this villa 40 years ago. She was also searching for something. On one page, she wrote, I feel like I am finally waking up. The colors here are teaching me how to see. I turn the pages slowly. The drawings are beautiful. But as I get to the end of the book, the drawings stop. The last page has a sketch of a small, arched stone bridge over a sparkling stream. Under the sketch, Sophia wrote, The Bridge of Whispers. This is where I found my heart. To the person who finds this book, please go there. Finish the journey I had to leave behind. There is a small map tucked into the back of the book. I feel a wave of excitement. This is a mystery. I have to find this bridge. The next morning, I pack a bag with some water, a sandwich, and the blue sketchbook. I follow the map. I walk away from the villa and into the olive groves. The silver leaves of the olive trees shimmer in the breeze. I walk for a long time. The sun gets hot on my shoulders. I get lost once, but I use the map to find my way back. After 2 hours of walking, I hear the sound of running water. I push through some thick bushes, and there it is. The Bridge of Whispers. It is exactly like the drawing, but even more beautiful. The stone is covered in soft, green moss. The water below is clear and cool. I see a man sitting on the bank of the stream. He is an old man with a very kind face and a straw hat. He is holding a fishing rod, but he isn't fishing. He is just watching the water. I walk toward him. "Hello," I say softly. The man looks up and smiles. "Good afternoon," he says. His English is slow but very good. "Are you from the villa?" "Yes," I say. "My name is Clara. I found this." I show him the blue sketchbook. The man's eyes go wide. He drops his fishing rod. He takes the book with trembling hands. He looks at the name on the first page. Sophia. Sophia. He whispers. Tears begin to form in his eyes. I knew Sophia. She was my greatest friend. She lived at the villa for one summer. We spent every day here, at this bridge. She was a brilliant artist. The man's name is Matteo. He tells me the rest of the story. Sophia had to return to England because her father was very ill. She left in a hurry and forgot her sketchbook. She wrote letters to Matteo for a few years, but then the letters stopped. He never knew what happened to her. She always wanted to paint the sunset from this bridge, Matteo says. But she never got the chance. She said the colors of the Tuscan sunset were too beautiful to capture. I feel a deep connection to Sophia. I look at the empty pages at the end of the sketchbook. I look at Matteo. I want to finish it, I say. I want to finish her journey. Matteo smiles. Then you must come back tomorrow. I will bring the paints. For the next 10 days, my life changes completely. Every morning, I meet Matteo at the Bridge of Whispers. He is a retired teacher, and he knows everything about the history of the land. He brings old oil paints and wooden brushes. He teaches me how to mix colors. Look at the hills, Clara, he says. They are not just green. They are gold, and brown, and purple, and grey. You must see the layers. I start to paint. At first, I am terrible. I make many mistakes. My hands are covered in blue and yellow paint. But I don't care. I am not an office assistant here. I am not thinking about emails or deadlines. I am listening to the water, I am feeling the wind, and I am learning to see. On my last evening in Tuscany, the sky is a masterpiece. It is a mix of deep violet, bright orange, and soft pink. I stand on the Bridge of Whispers and I finish the last painting in Sophia's book. It is a painting of the sunset. Matteo looks at it and nods. Sophia would be very happy, he says. You have a brave heart, Clara. I give the sketchbook to Matteo. Please keep it, I say. It belongs here, with you. Matteo shakes his head. No, Clara. Sophia left this for the person who needed it. You found it because you needed to wake up. Take it back to London. Whenever you feel like a robot, look at these pages and remember who you really are. I return to London on a Sunday evening. The city is still loud, and the sky is still grey. On Monday morning, I go to the office. I sit at my desk. My phone starts to ring. My boss walks in with a pile of papers. Clara, I need these reports by 5 o'clock, he says. I look at him. I am not afraid. I am not stressed. I smile. I will do my best, sir, I say. But first, I'm going to have a cup of tea and look out the window. In my bag, I have the blue sketchbook. Now, it is half full of Sophia's drawings and half full of mine. I am still an office assistant, but I am also an artist. I know that even in a grey city, I can find colour. I know that I am no longer a bird in a cage. I have the key to my own freedom. My name is Clara, and my journey has just begun. What a beautiful and touching story. I hope you enjoyed travelling to Tuscany with Clara. Now, remember, the secret to learning English is consistency. Don't just watch this video once. Go back to the beginning, play it again, and practice your shadowing. Try to match my speed. Try to match my tone. The more you practice, the more your brain will get used to the sounds of English. If you found this story helpful, please click the like button and share it with your friends who are also learning English. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new story. Tell me in the comments. Have you ever been to Italy? Or what is your favorite place to go on vacation? I love reading your stories. Thank you for practicing with me today. Keep up the great work, and I will see you in the next video. Happy learning!